Morning everybody. I've got a bit of good news and I'm going to work on my truck. Thanks for joining me on the channel. I think you know where you are. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and bar over the engine, see if it'll move. I'm going to check the internal of the bore to see if there's any more coolant in there. I sprayed the top of the engine, the rockers and everything with silicone to stop them rusting, because you're getting a little bit of surface rust on them. That's just to protect them, stop them going rusty. So what I'm going to do now is try and bar the engine over. In fact, it's got coolant in it. If I put the endoscope in cylinder number 3, if there's more coolant in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the head off. But I've got to take the sleeves out first, see if there's any damage on those. So that's what I'm going to do. Bar the engine over, then take number 3 cylinder and maybe number 2 cylinder sleeves out. If they're okay, I'll have to take the head off. So, the good news is the engine will turn over. The bad news is it's just ejected a load of coolant out into cylinder number 3. Okay, just in case any of you are wondering how this works, I'll show you in a second. But basically, what we're doing is we're twisting this bolt, this nut down to extract the injector sleeve out of the head. And it's pretty loose now. Oh. It's not quite out, it's not far off. This is an injector sleeve. The injector fits in here and seals. These are the 2 holes that the tool fits in. I'll show you how it works. The tool is made up of a certain number of components. This is the main part here. Somebody's obviously made this, it's homemade even though it was bought. And what happens is those 2 pegs fit in these 2 holes. Once they're in them, like so, you can see that they're not that good a fit and it can pull out. That's where this fits in. As you can see, it goes up the centre there, like so, and stops them coming apart. They can't squash in now and come apart, so it really locks it in. Then you have this part. This part goes down onto the head and basically pulls the sleeve out using this nut. You tighten this nut down, it forces that down and that pulls that out. Once the seals are clear, once this seal is clear, the bigger seal, this one pulls out dead easy because it's a taper. As you can see, it's very slightly tapered. I was sort of hoping that this was broken, but it doesn't look like it is. Got my coffee. As you can see, I'm in touch with my feminine side. You need a pair of pliers or some sort of grips to be able to get that off there like that. You need to squash that together to make it come apart. It's hard to get it apart. Of course, if you try and do that without having that bar down the middle, it'll just come straight out. Anyway, hopefully these seals have gone. The good news is that the engine turns over, so it doesn't look like it's an engine out job, but it might be a new head. So I think the next job is to have a look down the bore, and then once I've done that, if it looks like it's bad or if it looks like there's a lot of coolant in there still, I think the next job is to take the head off. Alright, so it's going to be a head off job. I've just put this cloth down into the bore and it's come out dripping with coolant. Look, see, it's all green. It's full of coolant in there. I am going to still stick the endoscope in, but I think it's going to be a head off job. So that means I've got to drain the coolant I've just put in. That's typical. Alright, so here you go, there's my endoscope. I'm going to stick it in the hole now. We'll see what we can see. Well, we can see lots of green, that's for certain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a cloth with some silicone grease. I'm going to drape it over the engine so it doesn't get any surface rust on it. Hello. Just adding this bit of video to give some context on the car's situation so far. As I've described, the engine does turn over, so it was hydrolocked with coolant. Knowing that the engine turns over and that the ball was full of coolant does point to a bad cylinder head. However, I just wanted to point out that at this stage that this is a theory, and it's exactly that, only a theory. There is still a chance that the cylinder bore has cracked and the coolant is getting in that way. It could still be damaged from failed component in the cylinder that has caused an issue. However, that is unlikely as the cracked cylinder bore is still an option and I need to be prepared with what I find when I take off the head tomorrow. The fact that the engine ran, even though it was dry coolant, it tells me that it's a problem with the head. Because if it had been damaged from something in the cylinder bore like a broken valve, the engine wouldn't have run. That said, it is more likely to be the head or the head gasket that has failed, and it is not too bad because I have spares. I don't have a spare head gasket obviously, but I have spare heads. With the cylinder head needing to be removed, it gives me an opportunity to carry out some repairs I have been wanting to do. Valve stem seals will be replaced, valves lapped in as required, plus injectors checked for correct operation including the spray pattern. Also, if there are any cracks in the head where the glow plug holes are, I will fix those as well. This time I don't want smoke billowing out from the car like last time. I want it to be running as clean as possible. I will also take this opportunity to change the timing belt and check and renew all seals and bearings where required. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to tell your friends. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the head removal video tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye now.